Welcome back to Wild Drama Stories, where you get all the drama from a safe distance. And in both stories today, we have women dealing with their boyfriends' bratty sisters. In story 1, a woman let her boyfriend's sister apartment sit for her, only to return to a nasty surprise or two. And in story number 2, a woman is tired of her fiance jumping every time his sister snaps her fingers and asks for something. The timestamp for story 2 is in the description box. Story number 1. Opie writes, for context, I am in a relationship with an amazing man. I met his family and his family have met me too, and got along apart from his little sister, Jess. She never liked me once I stepped into their house. It was like she was trying to find every single fault in me, whether my clothes, which she would sometimes say, quote, you look like a tramp showing that much cleavage, unquote, or stating, quote, you look like a nun all covered up, unquote. But regardless, I always tried making friends with her, whether it was baking her favorite cookies, buying cinema tickets for her to watch a movie, etc. I never wanted to have a bad relationship with my boyfriend's sister. A few months passed by, and honestly, my relationship with Jess slightly improved. There were no snarky comments about me or my clothing. Everything was just chill until my boyfriend and I had a 3-day trip and were leaving our shared apartment and needed a house sitter to take care of the plants and our 3 dogs. And Jess volunteered. I was very hesitant, but my boyfriend assured me maybe she was trying to get in my good books. I left her my keys to the apartment since I didn't have a pair, and it was honestly just a 3-day trip. Fast forward 3 days later, we call Jess to inform her we're coming back, but she doesn't answer the phone. So later on, we're knocking on the door when there's no answer for about 10 minutes. I try calling Jess repeatedly, but still no answer. After a while, Jess opens the door. I was honestly relieved as we thought something bad happened. I tried entering, but she blocked me. As I politely tell her to move away before I pushed past her, to see our apartment in ruins, broken cups, plates, glass, and even a shattered wine bottle, even a few paintings broken. But thankfully, it was only the sitting room and the dining area. Jess then starts apologizing, saying she just had a few friends over who brought a few friends with them, and this mess happened. And I was having none of it, as maybe this was some kind of sick prank. I tell her I don't care how this all happened, but she would have to reimburse us for all the damages. Thankfully, my boyfriend supported me. Jess then broke down in tears. I did feel bad for her, but actions do have consequences. She then starts shouting at me, saying our relationship was getting better and I messed it up. I told her, you're the only one who messed it up, not me. She did leave a few minutes later, but now my messages are flooding with some of her family members telling me to forgive her, and it was a mistake and I'm being too harsh on her. But I am not budging. Wow, Opie, not the a-hole. I would be upset too after what Jess did to your place. She owes you an apology. She has to reimburse you. And more than anything, Jess really needs to grow up. The fact that she said to you that you messed everything up, you messed up the relationship. No, Jess, you did it all by yourself. Let's see what other people have to say about this. Someone writes, when someone sends their flying monkeys in an argument, it's because they know they were wrong. You are not the a-hole, but Jess definitely is. Someone else says, so she damaged your place and didn't even have the decency to clean it up, and now you just have to forgive this behavior? After she reimbursed the damages, she is forgiven. If she took accountability for her actions and you continue to, quote, hate her, they could say these kinds of things, but not now. Someone else says, not the a-hole, take pictures. Even if you aren't going to do anything with the photos, seriously, take pictures. If anyone tries to bully you into forgiving her, just send them the pictures. If anything happens in the future, you have pictures of it. Seriously, take pictures. Don't clean up without taking pictures. I cannot stress this point enough. Opie replies, thank you for those who are urging me to take photos. Just took 4 of them and now it's time for cleaning the mess. Someone else says, info, are the dogs fine? Not the a-hole. And for those berating you over messages, did you show them pictures or video of the apartment? The story Jess is telling them is probably different than reality. I'm just trying to make this mess easy on you. You don't deserve all this backlash. I hope she, or the ones asking you to forgive her, pay for the damage. Opie replies, thank you for asking. The dogs are completely fine. Thankfully, Jess loves them, so they were unharmed and well fed while we were gone. Someone else writes, these are presumably adults she invited over, yes? I've never had adults over that just randomly broke all my stuff and destroyed my house. How does that even happen? How obliterated does a group of adults have to be to wreck an apartment? She is a garbage person for allowing people to not only come in uninvited, but destroy your home. And how dare she try to say it's your fault for ruining the relationship? Take pictures and send them to her family. Ask them if she's allowed to house sit for them, not the a-hole. And on we go to story number 2. Opie writes, here's the story. I, 23 female, have been with my fiance, 29 male, for nearly 4 years. He has older brothers and an older sister, 37. His sister has been brought up incredibly spoiled by all her brothers. Here's a few examples. 1. She is married and lives in a different house to her brothers, but rings them and asks them to drop takeaways and shopping off. 2. She can't go anywhere without one of her brothers with her. Won't drive on motorways, won't drive herself to shopping malls, etc. 3. She expects them to drive behind her when she goes home, considering she lives a 2-minute drive away from her parents at max. Further to this, she comes across as quite a selfish person and doesn't really consider anyone else but herself. She leaves her child, 9 male, at her parents' house pretty much 24/7, and he practically lives with his uncles and grandparents. They're responsible for taking him out because she doesn't do so. She doesn't work, so they fund everything for the child. We've been planning our wedding for several months now, and she has had no involvement in the planning whatsoever. She has been putting pressure on me to get her hair and makeup booked because she, quote, doesn't know who to use, unquote. There was also a bit of conflict recently as she was adamant on wearing the color which my bridal dress is, even though I told her multiple times I didn't want anyone to wear a color similar to mine, let alone the same color. It's got to a point now where my fiance is at her beck and call constantly. I've tried to explain it isn't normal, but this is the way he's been brought up. I've said once we're married and he's moved in with me, she cannot expect to have him run around after her, nor can she think she can turn up to our house whenever she wants unannounced. I've asked him to take a step back from his sister and stop wiping her butt because it's starting to put strain on our relationship now. He claims she's family and he has to do what she wants and get her what she needs. Doesn't understand that she's completely walking all over him. Am I the a-hole? Wow, Opie, no, I do not think you're the a-hole, And I think his sister has been spoiled to her own detriment. It doesn't seem like she can really do anything for herself or make any decisions even for herself. But let's see what other people have to say about this. Someone writes, "You need to go big or go home on this before you marry. Demand couples counseling and remind him that as his wife, you are his family and he should be prioritizing your marriage and future. Tell him if he refuses to demand she not wear that dress to the wedding, you won't get married." OP replies, "I ended up getting my way with the dress as she gave me her permission, which I didn't realize I needed. Told me, quote, if I really wanted to wear that dress, I could, and she'd wear something else," unquote. Definitely think we need a serious conversation about the issue before going through with anything. But somebody else writes, "You are the a-hole. Hear me out. The reason why I'm saying this is because you're trying to change a family dynamic that's been 37 plus years in the making, and it's not going to change, especially not with a sister advocating strongly against the change. All that's going to happen is that you're going to set the entire family against you, and your fiancé is going to choose his family over you. But you know this, and you're walking eyes wide open right into this family and expecting them, your husband-to-be, to change. That's the only reason why I'm saying you are the a-hole. Get out while your sanity and temper are still even." Someone else says, "Not the a-hole. It is perfectly reasonable to expect that your husband-to-be makes you a priority over his sister. However, be prepared that he may not be able to break away from her. You will have to decide if you want to marry someone who is virtually a slave to his sister. The sister seems like she has serious problems of some sort. Does she have social anxiety? It sounds like she could benefit from some sort of therapy." Someone else comments, "Not the a-hole. Yikes. I too had to put my foot down with my fiancé and his overbearing and clingy family. Teach your fiancé to turn her down gently. Instead of saying no to everything, tell him he needs to respond with phrases like, 'Let me check back with you regarding that,' or 'I need to discuss with my partner first before committing to that,' or 'I have obligations/plans at this time, but I'll let you know if things change.'" Well, that's it for now, and we can only wish these OPs the best of luck with these spoiled brat sisters. That's it for this edition of Wow Drama Stories, where you get all the drama from a safe distance. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I upload again. Until next time, wishing you a drama-free life.